confidence. Yeah. But confidence has to be made. It can't be given. You have to make yourself into a confident man. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And you can't do that just with no clothes and with no haircut. That's come from within. You got to work on the inside of you to make yourself a confident man. So just because you got you a haircut and some nice clothes on don't mean that you ready to play, baby. I know a lot of fools that got on their uniform but sit on the bench.
Girls love confidence. Like, they love when a nigga just show. You know what I'm saying? When you just pull up like, yo, what up? You know, girls love it. Like, cause a lot of times, you know, I feel like some girls, they put on their best outfit, they put on their best dress, and it's like not enough people tell them like, yo, you looking good. Like, I think a lot of guys like they want somebody to come to them like, yo, you looking good. You know what I mean? Like, it's that self-assurance. Like, yeah, for sure.
A lot of times people are insecure when they need to be talking all the time, or they need to fill the space with conversation. You're trying to justify why it's quiet, so it's like anxiety. But somebody that could be quiet and be poised and be comfortable in the silence, that's a confident person. The loudest person in the room has anxiety. He feels the need to like live up to the crowd. Like, yo, I need to impress the crowd. I need to entertain and make sure everybody likes me. I'm somebody that I'm okay with the silence.
Listen, I'm like, yo, bro, you're wasting your time. Yep. Because if a woman knows what you are, you ain't got to tell her who you are. I walk into a room, I know I'm him. And in reality, I ain't got to scream and yell at no woman to establish my dominance. I tell her, my absence will be me showing you how comfortable I am. And I'm willing to say, you know what? This is no longer suitable for my next chapter of my book. But a lot of men need to get to that point. Otherwise, they're going to be sitting there fighting with little girls about, they got $1,300 between the two of them, and they talking about a trip to Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? That don't even make sense. And as a man, with your logic, you should be like, yo, this don't even make sense. Yeah. But again, if a man isn't comfortable with saying no, he will ultimately be persuaded every time to say yes.
Eye contact and facial expression. Confident gentlemen make eye contact coupled with a genuine smile. This communicates 3 things that benefit you in social and professional environments: high emotional intelligence, self-regulation, and social awareness. So imagine you walk in as a well-groomed, nicely dressed man with a powerful posture and powerful walk, holding eye contact and addressing others. Yeah. That's confident. But most of you guys walk around with your head down, chest sunk in, shuffling your feet, weak gait, weak sitting posture, and you wonder why she won't give you the time of day. Good thing is that confidence is a learned behavior. You can learn how to walk like a gentleman. You can learn how to sit like a gentleman. You can learn how to stand or pose like a gentleman. You can learn how to communicate, talk like a gentleman. So if you're ready to see how gentleman confidence can totally transform your life, then click the link in my bio, join the private Facebook group that's just for men, and let's get started. That's how we keep it LPG.
Believe it or not, I wasn't born confident. I was actually extremely shy growing up, you know? And I noticed something. A lot of guys who don't have a strong relationship with their father don't build this confidence early. And that was my case. My dad was there, but we weren't close like that. And I'm super grateful, you know, don't get me twisted. I still love my dad, but I had to build myself and I had to create my own confidence through my own experiences, the people around me, especially being uncomfortable, you know, and simply putting myself out there, you know. But listen, this is not a sad story, you know, this is just my story. And that made me who I am today. That's why comparing yourself to someone else is stupid. You have a different background, different environment, different mindset, different education. And you're trying to copy someone else who didn't live your life, so of course it won't work. So stop looking from outside. Get inspired, yes, but build yourself from within with your own personality, your differences. This is how you stand out, you know, focus on your growth. Become someone you're proud of. That's it. Look in.
The best way to improve your charisma is number 1, gonna be confidence. That's the number 1 way to improve your charisma with women. Confidence. The confidence is basically an abundance mindset. That's all. Abundance mindset that I can get other women. All right. When you guys are nervous on these dates and stuff like that, you're in a scarcity mindset. I don't want to blow this because if I blow this, man, I don't get that many dates. All right. That's a scarcity mindset. All right. So now your confidence is shaking. All right. You scared. I want to fuck this shit up. So your confidence is shaking because you got a scarcity mindset. You scared of fucking this up. When you got an abundance mindset, I don't give a fuck if I fuck this up. All right. I meet a girl tomorrow. I meet 5 girls tomorrow. All right. That's the root of confidence, an abundance mindset, all right? To get the abundance mindset, you need more options. The options comes from the self-improvement. Why? Because when you better yourself, you make yourself more valuable to more women. Listen, it maybe a woman doesn't see you as the most handsome guy in the world. Granted. All right. But you dress nice and you smell good and you carry yourself right and you got swagger. All right. So if she was just going straight off look, she might say no. But it's other attributes. All right. So that's why I want you guys to always be doing the self-improvement.
You believe that most women probably quite like their men to be strong and confident.
I don't believe that. All the data shows that clearly across cultural samples and has for 50 years.
Why is it that you've been so vilified for suggesting something which is so palpably true?
Well, I think, first of all, that annoys narcissistic women, no end. And it annoys people who think that there are no biological or cultural limits on how we manifest our behaviors. And also it frightens a large number of women because many women have never had a good relationship with anyone masculine in their life. And so the notion that they would need to establish a trusting relationship with a man, especially if he's also in something approximating a superordinate position, which is what they might like to find him maximally attractive, also implies that they're in some sense going to be under his sway. And if there's no trust there, well, that's absolutely terrifying. And I have some sympathy for that because there are no shortage of women out there who've never had a positive relationship with anyone masculine. And so they're completely unable to discriminate between narcissistic power and compulsion and confident competence. And so because they can't distinguish that and they're afraid, they put all of that in the same category, which is something like the predator category. And that's not good for them because, well, as you said, all men aren't predators all the time. And they need to establish a relationship with a man.
You cannot manipulate me. You can't manipulate a man that built a backbone in solitude. There's no way you can manipulate a man with sex who's been sleeping alone. You can't threaten a man with abandonment who just don't mind eating alone. It's impossible. Master the art of being alone is what I tell my homies, because you're not by yourself, you're with yourself.